Hi guys, this evening I wanted to talk to you about what is quite popular with speakers and in event circles and webinars and masterclasses. And that is taken from the book called Expert Secrets. Just going to fix this. Expert Secrets is an amazing book. It's by Russell Brunson. I highly recommend that you get a copy if you don't have that already. The wonderful thing about this book, it really talks you through step by step how to present a webinar in a way that's going to get you more sales and more conversions. Now, I've done a lot of presenting and training, different courses, different industries, IT, telecoms, a bunch of different industries, face-to-face training just with one or two people. And I've also done like massive groups. And when I came across this, it literally changed my life. So one of the things that is in the book is literally a script of how to create the perfect webinar. He calls it the perfect webinar. That being said, just because it's a perfect webinar, it doesn't mean it can't be also presented in person. So I have done this as a webinar. I've tried it and presented it in person as well. And it works just as well, just obviously different audience. So you might have to change a couple of terms, but you can use the same webinar. Or the same presentation. And so what it is like, say for example, a PowerPoint or a PowerPoint presentation that you've turned into a video, that kind of thing, and with then your verbal talking about it. So if you do this as a pre-recorded webinar, it's a great way to like put it on the internet and have it online and have it launched and ready to go when people are ready to watch your webinar. So few things to go through with it though. I do have on my, if you look at the links below this video, I do actually have a copy of a quick guide that I created that will help with this. It looks a little bit like this. It's just a Word document, but it goes through slide by slide as to exactly what you need to do. So I wanted to just go through this really quickly and tell you how I would do it. And if you are interested in learning more, you can definitely have a look at my webinar funnel, which I'll also provide in the link below so you can have a bit of a look. So I guess the most important thing in terms of creating your webinar or masterclass, I like to call them masterclasses. I think it sounds a little more sophisticated, but a lot of people are happy to call it webinar. The most important thing is like you have to have one single message, like one single point of belief. You can't have a whole lot of different things going on. There's definitely different messages and things you can put in there, but there's one core message in your presentation. And that is going to be emphasized over and over and over again throughout the presentation so people just get it. Does that make sense? So part one of like what we're trying to do with our audience in the presentation, we're really just trying to build rapport with them. The hard thing with online marketing is that you haven't actually, met this person in the flesh. They don't know you from a bar of soap. You could be anyone trying to hack into their information on the internet, and people just don't trust us. However, there's a point in time where they'll start to step over the line and they will start to trust us. They will start to actually go, hey, this person's onto something and I want me some of that. So it's our job to convert them from being in that cycle of don't know you, don't trust you, don't like you, to, yeah, I feel like I know you, I feel like I like you, I feel like I trust you. Even though they don't actually still know us. But it's like what I say to people is, how many people actually here have met the Kardashians? No one. However, how many of us have seen them on TV and feel like we know the characters a bit? Like we feel like we know Kim and Chloe and the other girls, like we feel like we have a sense of who they are and we like certain things about them and maybe we dislike certain things about them. But at the end of the day, we know who they are. And that's really just through the power of marketing, right? So we're trying to build some kind of like tribal following or people that are going to resonate with our message. And we want to do that as quickly as we can. So there's a few different ways that we do that. So there's a few different things that are involved in friendship, which when you meet someone, generally speaking, it's hard to warm people up unless you have a couple of things in common, right? So here's how that conversation kind of goes. First of all, like, we're going to introduce ourselves and we're going to build rapport with them. So we're going to, like, you know, be on their side, so to speak. So we know, for example, like, I know in online marketing, I know what my customers' fears are. So their biggest fear is like, there's not enough hours in the day to do all of this. They're overwhelmed, they're frustrated, they're like, I don't know what to do next. There's so many things on the to-do list, like, and I feel like I have no time to do it. So I just basically say to them, hey, it's not your fault. Like, you know, it's not actually your fault that you failed. I think that's really important for people to hear, is that, you know, you tried this, you failed. It's not your fault. Like, there's something else going on here. And we know you've tried. And so, like, we're going to give you a second opportunity or chance at this. That's really super important. The second thing we do with our friends is, like, we encourage their dreams. Like, if a friend says to us, hey, I want to, like, move to Cuba and go salsa dancing, we're like, yes, like, you should do that. And if you have another friend that's like, I want to start a business in making candles, we're like, yes, that's a great idea. Like, we don't sit there as a friend and go, you know, not often anyway. Like, we're really encouraging their dreams if it's something that's true to their heart and we think would be good for them, and we're really encouraging their dreams. So we need to do that with these clients as well. The third thing is we allay their fears. So there's a bunch of fears out there that they've got. Like, you know, in my space, it's like, will I be technologically savvy enough? Will I understand enough about computers that I can actually get this to happen? It'll also be like, my product's not ready yet. There's a bunch of different fears that they have in this space. And my job is to be like, hey, don't worry if your product's not ready yet. Hey, don't worry if you're not technologically able. Don't worry, because we will do all of this for you. Like, we will show you how to do it. It's like, you don't have to worry about technology. Let us worry about that. And you can just follow the course. Another way to build friendship with someone quickly is to confirm their suspicions about something. So say, for example, I don't know, you're at the supermarket next to someone and you're both like reaching for the same bottle of shampoo and checking the ingredients, and then you're like, oh, there's something in there that I don't like, and she's seeing that at the same time. She's like, yeah, you're right, I see that. Oh, I don't like that either. Straight away you guys are going to connect, right? Because you have something in common. So there are a bunch of suspicions out there about your product, you know, about my product. There's so many suspicions. There's like, oh, is this going to cost me $4,000? Like XYZ costs, or, you know, how, like, I did all of these other courses in funnel building, but none of them actually got me a result. So how do I know yours will? So you just say, well, look, here you go. Here's all the other suspicions. Here's all the other things that happened. I'm very aware that these things go on too in my industry. And these guys are my enemies. Like, I don't do stuff like this. Yeah. So, like, a really good example I can think of is one of my clients who work in property investment. And one of the big suspicions people have about it is like, is this just going to cost me X amount of money? Like, isn't it going to cost me more? And the real answer to that is like, no, it's not going to cost you more. It's actually going to cost you less, because ultimately your big enemy is the tax office and the bank, and they're the people that are taking all of this money off you. Now, how would it be if instead of them taking money off you, you could actually use that money to pay your mortgage and to avoid tax and do all of these other things? Does that make sense? So ultimately, from part one of like what we're doing in this webinar, we're really just trying to create friendship with these people. And we're doing that by, as I said, justifying their failures, where have they failed, and saying it's okay, it's all right that you failed. Yeah, I totally get it. I failed too. We're in the same boat here, and now I'm going to show you what you need to do. Secondly, encouraging their dreams, lifting them up, supporting them, and being like, hey, you want to dream about being an amazing parent? I'm going to show you how to do that. Hey, you want to dream about like having $1 million portfolio in properties? I'm going to help you do that. Hey, you want to dream about just having your product, your online product launch? Awesome, I'm going to do that. So it's really all about that. The next thing is, as I said, so allaying their fears, telling them don't worry about this other stuff that's going on, and letting them know you're aware of these other things that are going on, and then just throwing rocks at the enemies with them. with them. So know who their enemy is and like throw the rocks with them. Yep, that's how it's going to go. And this is just like normal in any friendship, guys. The second thing, part two, couple of things here. Curiosity is super important. Like, people need to be curious about what you have to offer. Like, you know, you can't be like, hey guys, tonight I'm selling a loaf of bread. Everyone be like, that's so boring. You need to be like, hey guys, tonight I'm selling a loaf of bread. Now, let me tell you, the softness and fluffiness on the inside of the bread, and on the outside, you get that hard, crunchy, crusty bread. But this bread is a super bread, and it's got superpowers, and there's something really special inside it. And I'm actually going to tell you all about this in a minute. That's how you do it. You are going to identify, you're going to find out the one big thing, the one big fear, the one big thing that you're going to have to knock down for people to actually purchase your product. So let's talk about mine for a minute, because this is probably an easy way, and I think this is the same for a lot of the products that you guys have, is overwhelm. So I'm a mompreneur, and I'm overwhelmed about digital marketing, social media, online marketing, whatever you want to call it. Overwhelm. So their big domino actually is that this will never get built. It can never get done. I'm going to be working on this for freaking hours and hours. And actually my whole course was designed around knocking down that one big domino, knocking down that one big thing that there's like, it's the thing that gets in the way of them doing this. And that's why I structured my course on a weekend, because I'm like, right, it's a weekend. Your husband can look after the kids. You don't even have to worry about like not being able to go to work or something. Like, your hubby can look after the kids. It's not going to affect your schedule. I'm sure hubby can manage for the weekend, maybe cook some meals for him or something. You'll be there in an office, in a classroom with other women just like you. And we're going to give you all the templates for it. We're going to make it really easy. So there are all the things I'm doing to actually knock down that first big domino, the first big domino being that I don't know how to do this. Yeah. The next part is the 3 secrets. This is really important, guys. So I've talked a bit about product features and benefits in other videos, but really what you're doing for these clients is you're giving them a new opportunity, giving them a vehicle to their dreams, right? So there's so many different vehicles that you could give to people. So many vehicles. So if my thing that I'm after, like say for the mompreneur, the thing she wants the most is wealth, right? So I could give her hundreds of MLM products. I could give her hundreds of things that she's after that could definitely create wealth for her. I could tell her, go to a job and do a resume for her. That would help create wealth. Like there's a bunch of things that would help create wealth. This is just one vehicle for her in order to do that. But what she needs is the ability to use that vehicle. So imagine like you've just started driving, and actually imagine you haven't started driving. Imagine like someone's like, okay, cool, driving lessons, time to get in the car. Now we're going to get in the bus today. And you're like, because you don't know about a bus. You're like, yep, cool, they're going to teach me. That's cool. Jump in the bus. And they're like, now, put it in first and turn the accelerator on and all of this stuff. And it's just going to be an absolute nightmare, right? But the biggest thing that stops people from getting in the bus is that they just don't get in the bus. They're just like, no, I can't drive a bus. It's up here. I can't drive a bus? Like, what are you talking about? Is this for reals? I haven't even driven a car yet. Like, I can't drive a bus. And I love this story because really at the end of the day, like I actually flew a plane at the age of 14. I could fly a plane before I could drive a car. I didn't get my driver's license until I was like my early 20s. So it always cracks me up that I actually knew how to fly a plane before I knew how to drive a car. But at the end of the day, it's like about not having fear and people just jumping in, getting started. Your vehicle is the vehicle for their success. Never forget that and always remind them of that. Yeah. So your secrets are around that. Your secrets to your success are the things that they are going to learn using your vehicle, the benefits that they will get out of it. Yeah. Not just secret one is, boring. It's got to be like, these are 3 top things that they'll get. So for mine, it would be like, let's cut the clutter and overwhelm once and for all. Number 2, we'll actually get the funnel built. We'll actually get your online business built in a weekend. And number 3 would be, and you won't be overwhelmed and having technologically problems because it's all templated for you. For example, does that make sense? So what I want you to do is you've got the notes. I want you to download the notes. I want you to script out everything against those notes, and you're going to create a PowerPoint or a keynote or a masterclass, whatever you want to call it. basically script it out to those points. Now, you can put extra information in there. You can put your information covering your secrets, yeah? And it says in the webinar 3 secrets. I mean, I think in my recent masterclass, I actually did 7 secrets or something like that. So you don't have to like literally stick to that, but definitely start smaller rather than bigger, because that thing nearly killed me. And I think that, you know, you've got to like just start somewhere, figure out what the 3 secrets are, talk about them like passionately, because this is the stuff that you guys know, right? And then go through the slides one by one and just script out what you need to do and what you need to talk about. The other thing I wanted to talk about briefly is just make sure that as you're going through the scripts that you're continually knocking down those dominoes, you're continually knocking down the things, the false belief patterns, the big thing, the number one big thing that's getting in the way of them getting in that bus and driving, which is their belief system. Yeah. So whatever their beliefs are about what you can do for them or what your product's going to do for them, there's always a but. Yeah. Oh, I'd love to enroll in the course, but, and usually there's an excuse about time or money or whatever it might be. Yeah. So that's why you have to address those things up front, like address the money issue, address the time issue, address like the overwhelm issue, address all of the issues that are holding them back from actually enrolling in your course or doing your stuff or doing your thing. Yeah. Obviously presenting to them, these are all the things that are great about it, definitely helps if they're like ready to go. But there's going to be people that are ready to go and they're just not quite over the line because they're like, I don't have the money in my bank account right now. I'd have to put in my credit card. It would have to be worth the investment in doing that. And you're going to show them that it actually is, because you've got to remember, guys, you're not just competing with other people in your space out there. You're competing for the dollar. Now, I don't know about you, but I think my course and my program is worth every cent and more. Like, I know this course is worth a lot more than what people have paid for it. However, what happens is that, you know, I'm not just competing against like other digital marketers, other online people, other social media agencies, other marketing agencies. I'm also competing against the groceries and the car insurance and the vet bill and everything else that needs to be paid this month, everything else that is going to take your dollar this month. So what I'm trying to say is like, make it worthwhile for them. Number one, make sure your product is not shoddy. Make sure it's worth every cent, like 7 times worth in what that client has paid for. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, don't ever forget that you have to compete. You have to fight damn hard to get their dollar, because guys, they're going to spend their money on something else and something that's not going to give them the investment. Like, they're going to go spend that $300 or $400 or whatever on a pair of jeans. Like, where's a pair of jeans going to take them 5 years from now? Seriously? You know, maybe into a few nice clubs and that's it. This course, this thing that you're giving them, it's going to change their life. Like, it's going to give them a new quality of life. It's going to make a massive, massive difference. So make sure that you do sell it properly. And the best way to do that is to follow the script. Right. The other thing I needed to talk to you about, talked a bit about secrets, was breaking and rebuilding false belief patterns. Yep. So we don't want to switch into teacher mode. We want to inspire people to actually take action. We want to be their inspiration. And one of the ways we do that is using our Epiphany Bridge scripts and stories, our background stories, into all of the presentations, into what it is that we do. And that side of it is probably the most important part. So please make sure you spend some time doing that. The other thing is that we need to inspire people to take action, guys. Like, people are not just whipping their credit cards out going, yeah, I just want to like spend money on this stuff. We need to be the ones to be like, hey, you know what? I'm inspiring you and you can get more of me and you can have more of me, but you do have to actually pay for it. We want to inspire them. We want to make their dreams come true, don't you? Like, I definitely want to make my clients' dreams come true. I want every mompreneur to have access to what I had. Like, I want every mompreneur to make money. And I'm so passionate about that. Like, even if I wasn't paid for it, like, I would still talk about this stuff in my sleep, right? And I'm sure it's the same for you. Like, some people in the course, like, I know there's someone who's a parenting expert. It's like, don't you want every mother to have access to this information before it's too late, before their child starts hitting you? And then there's people that are like selling, I don't know, like a supplement. Like, don't you want every aged person to have this supplement so they can live a life that's pain-free? Like, aren't you that passionate about it? So make sure you show your passion and show your vision, and then break all of the beliefs they have about it. Like, you know, if we're talking about, I don't know, the parenting course, for example, one of the beliefs might be, but I'm not a disciplinarian, so this wouldn't work for me. And another belief might be, I don't have time for this. Yeah. And another belief would be like, I just don't have the money to invest in this. I don't think it's worth it for me. Does that make sense? So there's so many different beliefs and mindsets out there about it. And it's just about, how do you tap into that? How do you break every single one of those beliefs and then rebuild it? Yep. Does that make sense? So tell your background stories as a way of breaking those beliefs. Yeah. So you could say, for example, when I was a mompreneur and I worked in the gym and I had two littles who were 3 and like had a baby and a toddler, like life was really hard. It was not easy and I had very little time. However, what I was able to do was build my business and leverage my online business in a way that I didn't have to work anymore, didn't have to go to work, had staff working for me, following my systems, following my procedures, had clients coming and going, and everything was running itself. And I had 10K days sitting at home, playing with my kids. Yeah, so that's my story that helps them break the belief of like, well, I can't do this because I've got 2 kids and I don't have any time. Yeah. So yeah, just do that with every single false objective and false pattern. And like what you can do, I think down here somewhere, I wrote a list of, you want to write a list, like here's my list. Yeah, you want to write a list of every single objection that your client could come up with to not pay you money. Every single objection. Yeah, you want to really understand what all of those objections are. And then on every single objection, you're going to actually go next to it and you're going to write the thing that you need to teach them in order to have them break that objection, and a story that resonates with each of those objections. Does that make sense? Show other people's results. So show your testimonials, show your case studies. Guys, if you don't have these yet, it's okay, right? I didn't have them either at the beginning. What you will do is you will work for free for people to get them. You will ask people to refer you to other people so you can get them. Like literally free work, get the testimonials, get the case studies, build them up, and take opportunity. Like I see so many people like running a course or doing a thing or doing a that, and then not having anyone there afterwards to take some video or to take some footage of the amazing opportunities, of the amazing case studies, testimonials, what people are saying about it. Like, take the opportunities that you have to get decent testimonials. Even if it's just on your iPhone, get some decent testimonials, get some case studies. You have to be able to prove in this marketplace that you know your stuff and you know your worth. Yeah, and that might take some time. It can even be just Facebook screenshots of people saying great things or making reviews about you on Facebook, right? So easy to do, but it's so important in the online environment because no one believes you until you can prove it. And the only way for us to prove it literally is for us to have other people post about it and say how brilliant it is. Yeah. Yeah, so you can, like, if you're breaking the false belief patterns, you can be like, so you're probably thinking that this is super expensive for an online marketing course. Well, the reason why this is wrong is blah, 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 because it's super leveraged, it's super in depth. All of the templates are provided for you. You really don't have to do anything much except for fill your information in. And the truth about that is that, that's wrong, I'm right, blah, blah, blah. So it's always like, here's the belief, here's the wrong belief, yeah? Here's what happens instead, yeah? And this is why your belief was wrong, and here's what the truth is. So we never tell a client that they're wrong, but we definitely talk about every single belief, every single false belief, every single objection, and then we basically come back and we cut those objections out at the knees. Yes? Good. Another thing to really think about closely when you're doing the section on the perfect webinar, which is about the pricing, there's a specific, very specific way to do it. Guys, please follow this. Yep, it will not work as well if you do it any other way. Don't have one slide just with here's the modules and here's pricing. It will not work. Yep. You need to add on bonuses. You need to do everything exactly as it states in that. And if you have any questions, please ask me about that. But ultimately, you are advertising what you're going to get, which is going to be like, it might be a masterclass, it might be a social media online course, whatever the tools, the additional tools they'll get with that, and then some bonuses. Like, what are the bonuses that you're happy to throw in? Is it personal access? Is it like phone consult or mastermind group or whatever? A checklist, downloadables, how-to guides. You know, there's a bunch of things you can pop in for free. My biggest advice on that is use something you've already got. Yeah. So if you've already got like a privacy policy template, great, use that. If you've already got a Facebook ads calculator, use that. Use the stuff that you have already, that you've already got developed. But if you don't have anything developed, you're going to have to develop something. But ideally, use something that you've already got, even if you have to slightly rework it. Yeah. So we've talked about the objections, like obviously the big dominoes of one big objection that we need to break down. So that's the one thing that they have to believe to make everything else not matter. So for me, that one thing would be like, I can build my funnel in a weekend. Yep. For a parenting expert, it would be, I can make your child hitting, just stop hitting immediately. Let's think of another business. For an e-commerce business that sells health items, it can be like, this health item is going to change your life immediately. Cool. So if I can make people believe that my new opportunity is the key to what they desire most and is only attainable through my vehicle, then all other objections and all other concerns become irrelevant and they just melt away and the client has to give me money. I'm going to repeat that. So if I can make people believe that my new opportunity, in my case, the online social media Supermum Bootcamp course, is the key to what they desire most, is the key to their launching their online business and having it be profitable, and is only attainable through my specific vehicle, through my particular course, then all other objections and concerns are going to melt away. Yep. So 1, 2, or 3 things to know about that. First of all, we did talk about this in another module, but it must be in the prolific zone. It must be something that's not mainstream, that no one else is offering. Like, it's all about how niche is this thing. Like, you know, we don't want to be like doing this mainstream thing. Oh, everyone else is selling that. Like, why should I trust you? No, people have to come to you because you are the sub niche expert. Yeah. You are the one that does what you do better than anyone else. Like, your vehicle is the best, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It must be a new opportunity for them, not something that's like old or revamped or whatever. Like, you can use one of your old products and launch it as a new opportunity. Let's talk about this for a minute. In the personal training space, obviously, day in, day out, I'm doing the same stuff. I'm personal training a client, right? Different clients, different needs, whatever, but we write a program and we train them. Really, really simple stuff. It was one of the reasons why I got out of personal training. I got to a point, I just wasn't challenged by it anymore. I didn't really enjoy it. But I would launch new programs every month or every 2 months, and they would be different challenges. So we would have the little black dress challenge in time for February for Valentine's Day. And in September, we would launch the bikini body challenge. Yeah. And then in the middle of winter, we'd always launch the skinny jeans challenge, right? So different challenges throughout the course of the year. Were those the same product? Absolutely. Did they get something slightly different each time? Yes, they did. Like with the skinny jeans challenge, they'd go in the draw to win a pair of skinny jeans. Amazing. How good is that? So whoever got the best results would win the skinny jeans. Awesome. Whatever. A couple $100 for a pair of jeans and everyone's happy. The little black dress challenge, though, was more about like had specific diets and meal plans and things like that. Yeah, and I think it came with a makeover, like a hair and beauty makeover. And then the bikini body challenge was very like tailored to specific like abdominal exercise and that kind of thing. But ultimately, it was the same product, just packaged differently. So don't just be smart about it, guys. Don't go and recreate everything and reinvent everything. But launching different products and packages can be really super important and can really like add and resonate and add value to your brand as well. Right? I think that's it. Nothing else about objections. Just with the objections, we just need to make sure that we tell them the background story of, hey, I thought this too. Hey, I had that objection too. but here's my background story that's going to help you understand that I was in that same boat, I did something about it, and now I'm out the other side and it changed my life. Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, and just briefly, so if you follow the Epiphany Bridge script, which I have also attached to this lesson, it talks a little bit about beliefs. So you've got internal and external beliefs in there. So the internal beliefs are beliefs about their own ability to execute something. Does that make sense? And external beliefs are beliefs about things beyond their control, right? So, for example, like, I don't understand how this funnel thing's going to work for me. Yeah. So an internal belief might be like, I'm not technically inclined. So I'm struggling with that. I don't believe I can do it. And the external belief might be like something like, and you know, my funnel's not set up yet anyway. Yeah. So it's all about like, one of them is more of the psychologically what's going on inside, and that's the internal belief, and the external belief is other things. So I'm not as worried about external beliefs. I'm really more worried about the internal beliefs. Yeah. So it'd be like, I wanted to make money. Okay, why did you want to make money? Well, so I could, you know, go on a trip each year. Great, that's awesome. That's a great thing. That's an external thing. But why did you really want to make money? Well, really how I wanted to make money is I wanted to like show my husband I had value in work in our family. I wanted to like show my kids that I could actually achieve something. You know, does that make sense? So it's more internal, it's like more gritty. It's more like, here's the real heart of it. Does that make sense? So our belief systems is what results in our secrets. Yeah. So if my first belief is like, I can't do this because I'm technologically not up with it, the first secret will be something along the lines of like, hey, you know, here's how you do it, even if you, excuse me, are not tech savvy or have no idea on how to, or never built a funnel before. So yeah, we just look at those belief systems and we put them into clarity. So yeah, I know there's a lot that I've covered. It doesn't make a lot of sense because it's all over the shop, but download the guides, follow them through step by step, and you'll see it will be so easy. And if you have any questions, just call or email me. Thanks, guys. Have a great evening. We'll talk soon.